All right, ladies and gentlemen. So, to this point, you guys were working with 1 point perspective. You guys did 1 point perspective boxes. Then you guys did a worm's eye view of a city. So, we're going to continue on with the 1 point perspective using one vanishing point. However, here's the thing: instead of doing a worm's eye view, you're going to be doing a bird's eye view. So, as if you're a bird looking down at a city. So, if you have access to Blend, which you should, if you go to the Blend page and then go to the module bird's eye view of a city, here is a really good step-by-step instructions on how to get started. Okay, now here's the thing: if you guys look at the criteria, 10 buildings, you have to have roads, you got to have windows, then you have to have the tops of the buildings done, and of course the most important thing is details, details, details. What makes your city your city? Okay, do you have the same kind of monotonous kind of rectangular buildings just over and over and over? Or did you go one step further and did you decide, you know what, I want to make my city look totally different? So in order to do this, one good way of, like I've been telling you guys over and over and over, one really good way of showing how to do this is by actually going to Google Maps. So if you go to Google Maps and you type in, like, let's say we were just going to do, for some reason, I always go to Times Square, New York. Well, if you look here, you've got a lot of very interesting style buildings. Okay. But some of the other things that you notice that, like when you're looking down on here, such as parking lots, you've got roads, you've got highways, you've got all these little things here that kind of make your city look like your city. Okay, these are all things that you can add. So for example, if you wanted to, you can put basketball courts, you can put tennis courts, you can put soccer fields, you can put football fields. It's completely up to you the way you want to do it. The thing is, just making your city just kind of like the same thing over and over and over, it just kind of doesn't work. Like eventually it just kind of gets very monotonous and you just want to break it up. So if you go in, and first things first, what do you got to do? So first things first, what do you got to do? What you have to do is, of course, put in your vanishing point. So let's go in. All right. So we're going to put in a vanishing point, okay, somewhere near the center of our paper, okay? It doesn't have to be perfect. It's just got to be pretty close. So this is where all of our receding lines or orthogonal lines are going to be converging on. So here's what you want to do is you want to go in and put in all of your rectangular prisms all the way around your vanishing point. And you're going to do that all the way around, you know. And here's the thing is breaking up the kind of the monotony of your just simple rectangular buildings, and you want to do something a little bit different, and that's great. I think it's awesome whenever you do that. It shows your creativity and kind of making this city kind of like your own. Go in there and put some interesting sized buildings. Okay. Like I know it's a little bit more challenging. However, it does break up just the monotony of just doing the exact same thing over and over and over. And that doesn't mean making like these weird, like trapezoidal kind of type buildings. You just gotta kind of like just break it up just a little bit. Okay. So just for the sake of time management, I'm just gonna go ahead and put in just a few. But just like what we were talking about before, is the same rules kind of still apply. Okay. So here's the thing is you could go in at this point and start putting in roads and stuff all the way around. The thing is, you want to decide how tall you want your buildings to be first. Okay. So if I wanted buildings, for example, if I wanted buildings that were really, really tall or really, really short, like just a couple of stories, then I'd have the option to do so. But if you went in and put in like roads already, you kind of sealed yourself into whatever space you're leaving up to that you have left. So what we want to do is we want to do the buildings first. Okay, so put in all of your rectangular prisms or whatever it is that you're doing, whatever size. Remember, you need at least 10. So just for the sake of the lesson for right now, I'm just doing 5. So what you do is then mark the corners that you can extend receding lines to your vanishing point without crossing over another part of your building. So like, for example, here and here, I wouldn't be able to do it from here because I would cross over the top of my building, and I'm just not going to do that. So I'm going to do the exact same thing over here on this side. This lamp is killing me. All right. So I can do it from here. From this point. Okay, and then this point. All right. And then I'm going to do it from here as well, from every corner that you can. I know these odd shaped buildings, they do give you a little bit more work to do. However, in the long run, it makes it that much more interesting. So make sure you're lining up all the way with your vanishing point. So make sure you line up all the way with your vanishing point for every single one. And then, for example, like this one here, I'm going to stop when I cross this. Do not cross another building. So do it from this corner as well, lining it up. Would I be able to get one here? No. Okay, so then from here as well. From here. And then from here. All right. So now that you have all these, what you need is the bottom of your buildings. So the bottoms are always going to be parallel to the top. So for example, I'm going to put my line, I'm going to put my ruler right up against this line here with this prism. Okay, so my line is right up on there. And you know what? I figure that's pretty tall enough. So I'm just going to draw on a line there and then erase the excess that I no longer need. Okay. And then I'm going to do the same for this one. These are a little bit trickier because they have these angles to deal with. So I'm going to put it right there on that angle, and then I'm going to slide my ruler down, and I'm going to say, okay, I want it to be this tall, which means that I'm going to have to go in there and adjust all of my measurements to that bottom top or top part. So then I will erase the lines I no longer need. Okay, so then I'm going to do the same thing for here. Now this one I wanted to be a little bit taller. So there, that's now parallel there to this line. So then I need a parallel part here to this top part. Slide it down. And then I need a parallel line here. To there. And then I need a parallel line here. Slide it this way. And there we go. So I don't need one here because I don't see it. So if y'all look, and after I erase all my orthogonal lines that I'm not going to need anymore, it appears this building is way taller than the other ones. Okay. That's the neat thing about this, is being the artist to create and say, you know what, I want my building to be this tall. So like this one, I want it to be a little bit shorter. So I'm going to erase the lines I no longer need there. And then I'm going to put in my lines here. This one's going to be a little bit more taxing. So like here, 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 and there. All right, so now I have the bottom parts of my building. So remember, you need 10, I only did 5, okay, just for the sake of the lesson. Now here's the thing. The major thing is when you go back and you look at like the Google Maps and stuff, you're gonna notice a few things. So let's go and let's look at the Google Maps. So one of the things you're going to notice, especially when you look at some of these like really, really nice buildings, the air conditioning units are almost always located up on top. Okay. So what you need to do is you need to go in and start thinking about what can you put up on top. And one of the things that I want you to notice is like this right here. Like this area, this white line that traces this top of the building, that's a ledge. Okay, you can easily go in there and put a ledge, very simple. So I'm going to show you guys how to do that. But first, what we want to do is start putting in like air conditioning units. And if y'all look at the blend page, there are other examples of like elevator chutes and access to the roof, like there's swimming pools, things like that. Like y'all saw, like there was a garden on that one. So for example, if like, let's say we wanted to put a swimming pool at the top of this building here. Okay, and we just want to kind of like the shape. It's kind of like a swimming pool, just like a regular rectangular shaped swimming pool. And put like a diving board over here. So there we go. So we need roof access. So what we're going to do is we're going to put like a little room or a little building here that the tenants of this building have access to the roof so they can come up and swim. So we're going to put in there a small rectangular prism. These lines all go to the vanishing point. Okay, so this like will be roof access for like residents. And then we need to put in a door so they can come out. All right. So here's the thing is I want to put in a ledge. So a ledge is very simple. It's basically just going to be like a double line or a parallel line on the inside part of our building that just kind of traces the whole thing. Give a little bit space. And it's going to go all the way around the top. And there is the start of our ledge. Now the thing is, a ledge actually has some height to it. So what we need to do is we need to go in there and put the height. So from the corners on the inside that we can, we're just going to extend a small little receding line to the vanishing point that's going to say, okay, this is how thick or how tall our ledge is. So you can go in there and kind of shade that in, give it that illusion. There we go. So then another thing. So if y'all wanted to do, like, for example, like a balcony. Balconies are very simple because you've already done it basically. Basically, all it is just a rectangle that comes off of your building. So what you're doing is just putting in just a straight rectangle. Okay, still parallel to the top. And then from the corner here, extend a receding line to the vanishing point. Receding line to the vanishing point. Then close it up. All right, so we're not going to see that. And then we want this part to attach to our building. So there we go. So here's our floor. Here's our side here. Here's our floor that attaches to the actual building. And then you would put in like a sliding window or a door or something there. So that the sides are going to be going to your vanishing point. The top is going to be parallel to the top of your building. There you go. So you can put in blinds. So here's the thing, putting in windows. So like windows are just like almost exactly like you guys had learned before. So let's say, for example, that you wanted to put in windows that go all the way down, but you wanted apartment style windows. You put in a left and a right. Like not everybody is as fortunate as this guy, right? He's the guy that owns the building or something. So a left and a right, now you need a top and the bottom. So the top and the bottom are going to be parallel to the top of your building. So top of our windows, bottom. And as we go down, we're going to get slightly closer and closer together to kind of make it look like it's getting further and further down. So then what you do is you erase the lines that you no longer need. There you go. So if there's anything that you guys want to learn how to draw for these particular assignments, just let me know. So the best part about this is, like anything like a road or a sidewalk or a park or anything like that, that's going to be at the very bottom of here, there's going to be nothing going to a vanishing point. So a road, like let's say we wanted a road that went right by this one, right by this building as well. It's just going to be straight. So let's say, for example, we wanted a park like right in the center part of here, and you wanted like a specific shape of a park. Like if you wanted a circle or something like that, you can find something circular. And let's say you wanted like a roundabout. So like you would enter here and then you would exit this way towards this street, attach it, and then you could have another exit coming here. But remember, this is completely up to you. So I want to see your version of the city. Okay, this is what I'm doing. I want to see your version. Okay, so remember, 10 buildings, each one of your buildings has to have stuff on top of it, whether it's an air conditioning unit, whether it's a swimming pool, whether it's any of the other things that you kind of see on like the top of buildings using Google Maps. You got to have windows, you got to have doors on each one of your buildings. You have to have streets, you got to have, whatever else, like details are what matters. Okay. And if you guys have any questions about how to do something particular, then just let me know and I'd gladly help you. But this is a really good way of getting started. So good luck, ladies and gentlemen.